Hey, this is Cindy from cindybidar.com, and I just wanted to spend a few minutes with you today and show you kind of the behind the scenes look at how I have my ActiveCampaign account set up. Now, you know, I'm a huge fan of ActiveCampaign. I've talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. And I think it's seriously the most powerful email marketing software you can buy without spending a fortune on a system like Infusionsoft or Ontraport. But with that said, it can be a little confusing for people to set up. So I want to talk about how I have my system set up. This is certainly not the only way to do it, but this is what works for me. And I think it would work for a lot of you as well. So the first thing I need to note is you can have lots of different lists inside ActiveCampaign. I do not. I have a single list, cindybidar.com, one list. All my contacts are in that list. The reason I do that is because in ActiveCampaign, and I found this out the hard way, I used to have more than one list. I used to have a different list for every website. But I found out the hard way that when someone unsubscribes from one list in ActiveCampaign, they are not automatically unsubscribed from every other list. So if they're unsubscribing, it's because they don't want to hear from you. And if you're mailing to more than one list at a time, they're still going to get emails from you, even though they think they've unsubscribed. So that's why I whittled mine down. I now use a single list, and I use tags only for segmenting those people. The other thing I want to point out, and I'll show you how I'm using those tags in a minute, but the other thing I want to point out is I don't have any forms in ActiveCampaign. I do not use their forms. I use Thrive Leads or Thrive Architect for opt-in forms, and I connect those to ActiveCampaign through the API. So what that means is people fill in their name and their email address in a form on my website. Thrive takes that information, sends it over to ActiveCampaign, and says, add this person to the list and give them this tag, whatever that tag is. I have a different tag for every opt-in. For every freebie I have, gets a different tag. Every product gets a different tag. So the same thing happens in my shopping cart. If you make a purchase from me, you get a tag added to your contact record in ActiveCampaign. And those tags are what determine what email follow-ups you get. So for example, we're looking at an email follow-up sequence here. In ActiveCampaign, it's called an automation. An automation in ActiveCampaign is a series of events that happens to a contact record. So it might be sending an email, it could be sending a text if you have that ability, it could be notifying you, it could be moving them to a different campaign, it could be adding tags. All sorts of different things can happen within an automation beyond just sending an email, although that's the basic purpose for them. So here we're looking at the automation, the follow-up that happens when someone purchases my Digital Marketer's Quick Start Guide to Profitable Funnels. So the first thing that happens is I add a tag to their record that says do not mail in automation. So what that means is when I'm sending a broadcast email out, when I'm just emailing everybody, I exclude people who have that do not mail in automation tag. And the reason for that is because I don't typically want to send you more than one email in a single day. And that can happen if I'm sending a broadcast and you're getting a follow-up sequence. So I add that tag and then I exclude those people from my broadcast emails. Then I wait for one day. The reason I wait for one day is because this is a paid product. So when you make a purchase from me, a lot of things happen and you're going to get a lot of emails immediately. You're going to get a receipt from PayPal if you pay through PayPal. You're going to get a receipt from my shopping cart. You're going to get your login details from my shopping cart. So you're getting 3 emails right away. The last thing I want to do is add another email to your inbox. I think it's confusing and it's more than people need. It's overkill. So I wait for one day. Then the next thing that happens is I send a tools to use email. So this is it's an information email, and it doesn't really matter what it's about. The point is I'm sending, I'm waiting one day, then I send an email, then I wait one day, then I send an email. Then I wait 1 day, then I send an email, then I wait 1 day, then I send an email. So this sequence is 5 days long. And the goal of this little mini funnel is to upgrade someone from the Digital Marketer's Quick Start Guide to the full Funnel Advantage course. And here's where those tags come into play again, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But once they get through this sequence, I remove the tag, remove the do not mail tag, so they're back on the broadcast list, and then I end this automation. So what happens if back here under email number 1, where I'm promoting the Funnel Advantage, if they make that purchase, they buy the Funnel Advantage from this point? I don't want to continue to promote it because that doesn't make any sense. So if I go over and I look at that particular automation for the Funnel Advantage, you're going to see that the only thing this does really is it exits the follow-up sequence. So it pulls them out of those promotional sequences so that you're not continuing to see emails for products you've already purchased. So that's how I use tags to move people around within the ActiveCampaign system to make sure that they're getting the promotions and the information that they need, and they're not getting a bunch of stuff that's irrelevant to them. So I hope that helps you kind of organize how you're thinking about your own ActiveCampaign setup. And it's not just ActiveCampaign that works this way. There are other systems that operate on tags as well. I know ConvertKit does. I know Drip does. Some other systems have tags. Aweber has tags, but it's not nearly this sophisticated. You can't do, kind of those behavior-based moves. But in any system where you can use tags to move people around and to show them exactly what they need right now instead of a bunch of stuff that's irrelevant to them, I highly recommend you do it. So again, single list, no forms, tags only, keeps my system super simple and super easy to manage. I hope you found that helpful. Pop over to the Facebook group if you have questions. I will be happy to help you out. Talk to you soon.